What is best, renting or owning? You know, there are some people out there who are happy just renting things their whole lives, but most people want to own the things that they use. Well, take your house, for example. What's better, renting or owning your house? You want to pay a landlord your whole life? It's much better to own your house. And then, if you live in the US, you never really own your house because there's property taxes and the government, treats you like a tenant. But besides that, most people would agree owning things is better. Now, I am here to contend with you. I am here to convince you that this is also true when it comes to software. Most people out there, especially businesses, are using proprietary software. They're using software and they're using software systems that they do not own. It doesn't live on their computer. It doesn't work on their servers. This just comes with trade-offs that most people don't think about. First of all, there's privacy concerns. Your software being on someone else's computer, your business's infrastructure being on someone else's computer, ultimately you are paying rent on someone else's land. You're never going to own it. It's always going to be something that you are dependent on other people to maintain and to serve you to use. On the other hand, the alternative is self-hosted software. There are plenty of open source self-hosted tools that exist. We kind of live in a software golden age. All kinds of people all over the world are constantly developing software. There's amazing projects out there that the user, if they know how to run it, and with things like Docker, it's very simple to run on your own setup, that you can take these softwares, you can put them on your computer, you can run them, you don't have to worry about privacy concerns, but the biggest factor is cost. It just is way cheaper long-term to host your own software and to use it yourself. So take like most CRMs out there, for example. A CRM, a customer relations management software, I think most, a ton of different companies use. If you are using any of the big ones, Salesforce, Jobber, Housecall, there's lots of them out there. Ultimately, you're just going to pay, the more your business grows, they're going to charge you per user. You think of also Zoho CRM. There's more and more, there's upsells, there's more cost per user. There is just a ton that you have to pay for because you're paying this big company to run your software for you. Well, take a different software called ERPNext. ERPNext is developed by a company called Frappe. It is actively developed, it is actively maintained, but it is an open source platform, which means that you can run it on your own server, you can run it on your own computer, and which means that you don't have to pay for it, which means once you run it, if you get it up and running, you don't have to pay for it. There's no ongoing costs. As your business grows, you keep adding more and more people, you don't have to continue to pay for it. Now, there's different degrees of self-hosting, right? You can self-host a server in your house. I have little nooks around here, little small computers where I self-host different things. But you can also pay a server farm and basically get access to one of their to a server through a server farm service like AWS or Hetzer. And through doing that, yes, the server is not physically on your property, but you're the only one who has access to it. You're the one who maintains it. You are, to a much more significant degree, hosting your software. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I think this is way better. I love functionality, I love software, and I hate paying for things. Let me show you one of these softwares that I really believe if people just, like most business people, I get it. They want to use the newest and latest, greatest thing. But if they would just consider using this instead, you could save yourself like thousands and thousands of dollars. Literally thousands of dollars. I know I spoke to a business owner recently. He pays $6,000 a month for software. So that's including, right, your cloud storage. That's including your payroll software, QuickBooks. That's including whatever portal, it's including your CRM, it's including your project management software. It's including all these different aspects which you're taking from different companies piecemeal, when literally, all right, this one that we have here, which I will show you, ERPNext, is literally, it can do all of those things for free. Do you understand that? For free. Come here, follow me into my computer. Let us go into my computer and I will show you what ERPNext is capable of. All right, here we are in my computer. We have ERPNext. So this is an active instance that I use. Hold on, let's use ERP.digital sovereignty. All right, so this is like a relatively fresh ERPNext instance. So you come into here, All right, I'm already logged in. This is something I've set up. This is running on a Hetzer server that again, I'm the only one who has access to it. So I switched to desk here. Let me just walk you through. So again, this is like out of the box. This is fresh. Let me walk you through what this is capable of doing. ERPNext is incredibly customizable. All right, it's incredibly customizable, but it is built around it is built for the purpose of being able to manage that ERPNext with some understanding, with a little bit of know-how, can manage like 95% of businesses out there, especially businesses that are not software businesses. So in ERPNext, right here we have our workspaces. They're all very customizable. So you come in here, I can go into the buying, and they all have these tutorials set up, but if we dismiss the tutorial there, but all these different reports, all these different shortcuts, these are all customizable. But the thing is, out of the box, it's already set up in a way that works for most businesses. So if you look here on my active instance, I've customized my home to basically go to the things that I want, that I need most regularly. We have accounting. So first of all, double entry accounting, full on double entry accounting. We have a chart of accounts, which we can look at here in this tree view, and you can set that up to be the default view as well. We can put numbers on the accounts. Yeah, so accounting, we have full chart of accounts. We can do custom journal entries, payment entries, sales invoices. You can do a trial balance. Like I'm telling you, you gotta, don't take my word for it. Set it up yourself and see all the functionality of QuickBooks exists in ERPNext. From creating sales invoices, cutting checks. What else do people use QuickBooks for? Different ledgers, different accounts. It all exists. It's full on double entry accounting. And you know what? You set up ERPNext, you don't have to pay for it every year. It's set up and you run it and it's yours, forever. So that's just one thing. So if you just switched your accounting software from QuickBooks to ERPNext, right there you have, I don't know how much QuickBooks charges. I know it's in the order of thousands of dollars per year. So here you go. You have your you've just saved thousands of dollars. And in exchange, right, what do you have? You have to learn a little bit. You have to learn how to use a new program, but the fundamental principles of accounting are the same. You also, I would even argue that there are some accounting aspects that ERPNext actually does better than QuickBooks. I don't know if QuickBooks has a Plaid integration. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but I know that ERPNext has a Plaid integration. When you're doing a bank reconciliation, when you are reconciling the transactions in your bank account with the transactions in your accounting software, a lot of times you have to manually go in, or the normal way without Plaid is you would go into your bank, download your transactions, then you would come over, then you would upload them into your accounting software. Well, with Plaid, it's basically an API tool, which once you get a credential, once you set up your API, your Plaid integration, then your bank transactions, just when they clear, automatically drip into ERPNext. So it's just coming in all the time. I prefer that. Now, some people have privacy concerns with that. So if you feel comfortable using something like that, because again, there are privacy concerns regarding giving them your bank credentials, but most, I'll say that a huge portion of the tools that people use commonly in their business are already using Plaid. So it's very possible if you're using like Venmo or Cash App, that your Plaid already has your credentials. Maybe not. So okay, but what else? So you could replace all your accounting software, save thousands of dollars. What else? Okay, what else does this have in here? Take a look. We have buying modules. So everything, if you're physically manufacturing things, you can track all that right here. You can set up your items. I think I just have a sample item in here right now, widget. And so you put in items. Items can be attached to sales orders, to invoices, to payment requests. So a full-on internal inventory tracking. You have selling. So this is where we get into, this is the exciting one that everyone loves, selling. So we have, again, the items. We have orders, analytics, a point of sale system. So if you're like a restaurant or whatever, you're doing front end sales or whatever, checkout counters, all this kind of stuff. You don't have to pay. I'm not sure. I think most people use Square. And I don't think Square costs too much. But anyway, the fact is this has a point of sale. This has a point of sale functionality. that works. So, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of all these things. We have HR, so this is a free module. We can track recruitment, employee life cycle. We can do expense claims. There's salary aspects, I think down here, payroll. So there's a payroll tool, so you can track your salary. There's also, with payroll, I know there's like a standard way where they generate these particular types of files. You can handle basically all of your company's salary transactions, all your company's salary tracking right here in the same app as your accounting software. So they're finally integrated. It'll automatically go straight to your chart of accounts. And your selling and your invoicing, right? That goes straight to your chart of accounts. But also in here we have a CRM, and this CRM is like better. So there's standalone CRM apps that are open source, like Episco CRM. I tried Episco for a while. But the problem with most of these CRMs is that even the open source ones, right, they get you in on a free open source ground floor, and then they sell you proprietary add-ons to make it more customizable. ERPNext is not like that. ERPNext, it's like I could come into basically any of these fields, leads. So, okay, here's the leads, and I can go in and I can customize, I can add whatever fields I want, I can make custom fields. So you can do custom fields. Not only this, you could do automations. So you could do like one thing at a time. I'll just say that this CRM it's killer. It's great. This CRM, you can make, different types of leads. You can make different pipelines, like as many pipelines as you want. You can customize the pipelines based on whatever field you want. You then attach leads to opportunities. Opportunities become customers. Customers, you can generate contracts, you can make appointments, all these different kinds of things. I'm telling you, everything you would need to know. Everything your business would need, unless you're selling software itself, is pretty much handled straight into here. You can attach your email address into here, wherever it's coming from, if it's hosted by Gmail, if it's hosted somewhere else. You can integrate your email in here. You can send notifications to leads directly from actually a lot of different modules. So this is a lead we just made, right? I can just straight up make emails straight from here. I can just shoot my emails directly from the record. Now, there is also SMS integration. What that means is that you can send text messages to folks. You can do text blasts to all your contacts, all fields filtered by XYZ. There are some modules like the sales invoice, which out of the box, you can just send a text directly to, from that record, you can just send a text directly to the client or customer. Basically, whichever other one you want, you can add a custom button or you could add a custom field and then trigger it either natively with ERP or through an integration with something called N8N. You can send a text message to whoever you want. And if you have an Android phone, you can do this literally straight from your Android. If you have an iPhone, you have to use something like a Twilio integration, and that's not a limitation of ERP, that's a limitation of iPhone and all their vendor lock-in nonsense. Anyway, the point here is not to do a complete detailed exhibition of everything that ERPNext can do. But the point that I come back to is the fact that in one open source app, if you self-host this app, you can replace QuickBooks, you can replace Salesforce, you can replace Jobber, you can replace Housecall, and you don't have to continue, and you're no longer at the mercy of this company. Now, you're responsible to host it, you're responsible to back it up, you're responsible for these things, but look, man, freedom comes with a little bit of responsibility. You can't have freedom without being responsible. So I just want business owners to see this. I want business owners to take advantage of this. So what, am I selling you something? Yes, I am selling you something. I'm saying, look, this takes a little bit of technical know-how to set up, and business owners might not want to set that up themselves. My offer is to set up for you your stuff. Setting it up takes some skill, takes a little bit of know-how, takes some implementation. But if you know how to do it yourself, you literally can just do it yourself. If you understand how to do this, you can do it for free. You don't have to pay anyone anything other than the cost of running a server, paying your electric bill and your internet bill. What I offer is basically for business owners who want to use this stuff, but they don't want to set it up. I offer to set up your stuff for you. But I just want to tell you what's possible. I want to let people they don't think about this stuff. They use digital tools and they don't think about like where it lives, who's hosting it, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, take dominion, have dominion over the earth, rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Have dominion, take dominion, be sovereign. All right, excellent.